For my students to avoid having all of the paperwork that you see in front of you each week, I require students to do a portfolio review and also include photographs to be able to track their progress on a weekly level in my crafts classes. That would be crafts 1 through 4. And it was just too much of paper issue, too much of a bogged down grading issue. So what I went to is Edmodo, and it allows each student to design their own or open up their own account where I have the ability to interact with students, can add comments, and I do not have groups that they can interact with one another as of yet. I'd rather it just be back and forth between myself and the student. But there is that opportunity in Edmodo, which is a very nice feature. So that's my technology.
Hi, one of the uses that I find, Mike Aravis, by the way, math department, that I can use in my classroom is using ViewPure or any variation of YouTube or Khan Academy in order to instruct my students. If I have a student who's been absent from class, I can give them the topic, and I chose for today implicit differentiation. And if they would go to YouTube, they would see all of this mess around it. But if I want them to focus just on the video that I'm assigning, they can find it there. And one of the nice things about this is that they can find an instructor usually that goes through all the same types of steps that I would, and they're able to use those as supplementary notes. Or another way that I could use that is if I'm not in the classroom for any given day and I want to look ahead at a topic, I can flip the classroom and have the students look at the topic ahead of time and then use that same video myself to go through and troubleshoot, even have them take notes on the video. And I find it to be a very useful supplementation of what I do in the classroom.
All right, today I'm going to show you LowCalendar. LowCalendar.com is a easy to use interactive calendar that I use to update my class on a daily basis. This helps out tremendously with kids that aren't in school or kids that want to go back and go over something that you had already did in class in a previous time. So it's pretty simple. You just sign in. You can create a login for it. Once you're logged in, this will be the screen that you sign into on a daily basis. You just pick the day that you want to make sure that you put a date in for, and click on the date, and you would just add an event. So when you add an event, you put a title in and you put a description in. Whenever I go back to the class days that I've already gone over, it would look like this, and you could just click on the day. So October 1st, these are the things that we went through on October 1st. I handed out the pink forms for Virgil's pink out. We went over chapter 2, section 1, 2, and 4 of the study guide, and I have a link to where the study guide can be found. We reviewed weird laws of the United States that are still in the books, and then we took some notes. And then there's some websites that they can look at for those notes. Now this is what I am putting out on to the website for them. Once I'm done with everything, I would either update it, or there would actually be a save button here whenever you originally update it. And I've taken all this and then I've embedded it into my wiki space. You don't necessarily have to be able to embed it into a wiki space. You could just have a standalone link to this website, but if any of you guys do have a wiki space, it's beneficial to do so. So then I just go up and I get to my wiki space here, and I'm going to click. I have a link here. What did I do in class today, or what did we do in class today? And this is an embedded link again, and it shows my low calendar. Whenever I have the low calendar up, the student could just click on the day that they missed. So let's say they missed Tuesday, October 1st. Click on that, and then this what shows up to them. It's the 27th day of school. It's exactly what you just saw on the previous page. We handed this out, we did this and this and this, and I've also put links to each one of those things. So for instance, the study guide for the chapter 2, section 1, 2, and 4 tests can be found right here. They click on it, and there's the link to the study guide for the kids to have. I've used Microsoft Word here to embed a document, or upload a document, and then I've also embedded the Wikispace version of Google Docs here as well, so students can have that to study for this test from. Going back to the low calendar, it's very easy, simple, and effective in class, especially for kids that are no longer or that are not in your class that day. Thanks a lot. If you need any help, let me know.
Hi, I'm Karen Casper from the high school, and the app that I really like to use is called Flashcardlet. Each week I introduce vocabulary words, and I used to pass out paper packets, and as I introduced the new vocabulary words, my students would highlight, but it didn't really seem to motivate them that much. So when I switched to Flashcardlet, they are much more, it sustains their attention, they are much more attentive when I'm going over vocabulary words. And so this is what I do. I hit on Flashcardlet, which won't come up for me now. There it is. You just go into your flashcards, and you can go into Quizlet, and they can find flashcards instead of having to develop the list. They can go right into Quizlet and download a flashcard list. And I have one already in here for you. So if you just hit study, new study session, up comes the flashcards, and they can go through them that way. On the back is the definition. And when I do vocabulary review activities, they can actually pull up the entire word list, and if they need to see the definitions, they can put the definitions on here as well. And it is a fun way to go through vocabulary. They enjoy it a lot more than the paper version of it. And also, when I want to do a vocabulary review game, I can put these vocabulary words up on my Apple TV, and we can go over them that way and do some fun vocabulary games. So that is Flashcardlet. Thanks.
I use a computer program in my elementary lessons called Smart Music. Smart Music is a practice tool that allows students to play their part with accompaniment and then assess how well they played the section. The red notes are wrong notes or rhythm mistakes, while green notes were played correctly. Smart Music also allows students to collect recordings of themselves into a portfolio, isolate difficult sections of music, and send MP3 recordings to friends.
Bailey. One of my favorite technology to use in my classroom is an app called SplashTop. It allows me to control my computer from my iPad. It's nice because if I have two screens, like I have my desktop screen there and then I have my projected screen up here, I can see my desktop and then I can switch to my PowerPoint and do both of those. So this allows me to control my desktop, which allows me to take attendance, anything on Power Teacher I can use, and then I can switch. I can put up my bell ringer when the bell rings so students can do what's on the projector then. It also gives me a screen that I can almost put over top of there. I can use different colors. I can highlight, can scratch things out. I can also, it allows me, since I'm a math teacher, to just put up the question on the PowerPoint. I can work them out. I can do it with the students. I can be in the back of the classroom working it out with the students, checking that they're taking notes. Once I work out a problem, I can then give the device to my student and use it as an informal assessment, set it on their desk, and then they can work it out using the instructions I already gave them.
This is Mr. Jakorski, and I'm just showing some technology I use in my class. I like to use a website called Screencast-O-Matic and upload videos to YouTube and link them to my wiki space. So I'm just following some things I do in my honors physics class. And I put a lot of extra examples out here that we don't have time to do in class, and sometimes I put notes in this form to kind of use it like a flipped classroom, so kids go home and view a lesson and come with questions. It's pretty simple. The screencast-o-matic.com, you just sign up for a free account and upload video. I use my inner right board and draw on it while I talk, and doing that shows whatever length, I think up to 15 minutes you could do. And here's just a quick example of some I've done. So I could draw and talk with it and upload it to my site.
Today I will be giving a tutorial on how to use polev.com as a tool for formative assessment and a quick way to share ideas. In my classroom, first I start by recording my ensemble using GarageBand, which will look like this. Here you can see the waveform of their actual recording. Once you have a PoleEV account set up, you can create as many polls as you like and then decide which one to push to your page for students to answer. Here, they answer what aspects of the performance need improvement. The student will give an answer and submit their response. Once all the students have submitted their response, I can show their answers to the class. And all of their answers will come up without them having had any influence by other students in the class. As they come in, we'll see all the responses and see all the different answers that our students may have. I could also ask a more specific multiple choice question, such as if our tempo is increasing or decreasing during a performance, which will allow me to see if our students are accurately hearing what is occurring during a musical performance. PoleEV is an app that can be used in many classroom settings to assess or quickly share ideas.
Tanya Laura and I teach Spanish here at the high school. I wanted to talk about an app that I've been using. This is the first time I've done it this year with my 9th graders, so I'm kind of using them as the guinea pigs here. It's called SoundCloud, and it's a free app, and it works kind of like Twitter in the sense that you have followers, but what I'm able to do is make audio recordings of our vocabulary lists. And then the kids are able, because they all follow me, they're able to listen to it at home in the evenings, over the weekend, whenever they're studying and preparing for the upcoming quiz. And what I really like is it will actually show you how many times the video's been or the audio has been played. So if you want to look here, you can see I just posted this.
La profesora.
That's an example of the first couple words, but I just put that on yesterday and it's already been played 3 times, and I haven't played it. So clearly the kids are listening, and it seems to work really well for them to prepare for their upcoming quizzes. Thanks.
This video highlights a student-produced keynote project in Mr. Sable's Earth Science classroom. Students will identify what time zone each of the given locations is in. This will be used in conjunction with preparing for the time zone test. Students are to create a keynote presentation, similar to a PowerPoint, using their iPad. They are to use their knowledge of topics discussed in class, as well as research relevant facts about each location. The students will be evaluated on the produced product that will be submitted.
I teach 9th grade literature and composition, and today I want to share an app called GoodNotes. In the past, I used to make these packets, copies of these packets, and it contains an article that I would ask students to complete active reading on, and then there were questions that they had to answer and provide support for. Well, the app that I use is called GoodNotes, and what students do is I make the PDF of the article, and then students can open it from the class's drive and download it into GoodNotes. When they pull it up in GoodNotes, they have the article right there for them. They can make it bigger. And then as they're reading, they can still do active reading. They can have the highlighting option where they highlight text that supports whatever it is that they're reading. And they can also write on it. They can make a little note. You can say question 1. As they go through, they just slide through. You can read the entire article. And then when you get to the end for the questions, they can also answer their questions.
right on the app. When students are done, they can save it with their name attached to the document, put it into the homework drive for me, and I can grade it right on my iPad. Thank you.